time for the bell. How many options will you sell? Fire up your platform, get ready to enter. But first, let's get the mindset centered. Hey, hey, let's go. We're not here to gamble, we're here to trade. We follow the plan, that's how we get paid. Testing, trading, have success. Find what works for you and forget the rest. Stats and probabilities is what we're about. Time to dismiss greed and doubt. Focus on the process, not the money. And the profits will flow like honey. Power Hour Live, let's start the show. Come on, trade hackers, get ready to go. 0-day options, time to make bank. Get locked and loaded, then be ready to plank. Hey!
Hey everyone, welcome to Power Hour Live, November 13th on a Wednesday. S&P just above unchanged, same with NASDAQ. Russell down 0.6%, Dow unchanged. Gold and silver both down. Notes and bonds a little bit red. 10-year yield up about 1/3%. Oil up about 1/3. Natty gas up 3. Grains all red. Euro and the pound red. Bitcoin up 1% over 91,000. VIX is down over 5%, sitting at 13.92. My BICs are down. I had one double stop on my very first tranche, so down about 670. My price action BICs are basically a little bit green. Up about 159. If we don't do anything crazy, I'll make a couple hundred, it looks like. Let's see what else. My one DTE yesterday, after that down move we had at the end of the day, I ended up hitting max profit on that. Posted that in the Transformer channel. The one that expires today is the downside vertical, and that one will get minimum profit unless we push another 25 points down. The one DTE from today, I turned into an upside vertical. And so would need to basically get to all-time highs for tomorrow for that one to hit max, which I like. No WUGAs. My WUGAs didn't qualify. I've just got a couple of little pieces left on some of my price action BIC. So I have nothing on for Power Hour. Looking at the SPX strikes, probably you could get it 5 wide right now. If this thing calms down, maybe I'll consider one more little tranche for Power Hour, but otherwise, that is it. Got a 5-7 that I'll take off at the end of the day. That's taking a beating. Got a 3-4 and a 6-7 that I will close tomorrow. Those are both down. I put on a 1-2 earlier, and I'll just close that at normal time tomorrow. We do have PPI pre-market tomorrow. And then we also have Jay Powell speaking at 2 p.m. So right as we start Power Hour tomorrow. Due to participate in a panel discussion titled Global Perspectives at an event hosted by the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. So I mentioned in the calendar channel, originally I was considered maybe closing my 1-2 out by end of day, but in looking at the option chains, the 1-day options, which are for tomorrow, are not showing any weight for the PPI announcement. You can see the Friday options are the implied volatility is 12.4 versus tomorrow's 11.54. So not really showing any weight for the PPI report. So I'm going to go ahead and hold my 1-2. I did do a few day trades this morning, ended up small green, gave a little bit back on my last trade, but show you what I did there. So the first one, Apple. Apple was what I call a stop hunter. It came down, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. Came down within the first half hour and flushed the overnight lows and immediately bounced. So I waited till we got above yesterday's lows. And when it kind of pulled back towards there, I got long and just caught this move. Got out of my last contract right after that first red bar closed. So that was a little winner. And then Meta. Meta, I took an early downside continuation runner. It was just really weak right out of the gate. Flushed through yesterday's lows. When it bounced back up here, I took a short and scaled out on the way down. So it was a nice quick winner. And then the last one I did was NVIDIA. That was a loser. Get rid of these. So NVIDIA. Oops. Okay, yeah. So what I was looking at here is we had put in this low of day and it kind of really bounced off that level. Then we came down again and flushed it. So flushed that along with we flushed this pretty, pretty obvious turning point from yesterday's price action. So we flushed both of those. And so I got long right in here looking for a continuation higher. And then when it broke back down right here, I just cut for loss. So those are my day trades. 2 winners, 1 loser. SPX pushed up almost to its upside expected move and then right back to almost unchanged. NASDAQ, pretty much the same. Both NDX and SPX sitting just in green territory. Biggest movers on the individual stocks. Looks like Plug is up 4%, Snowflake up 3.5%, Shopify up 3%. Coinbase has finally taken a little bit of a pullback, down almost 10. Rocket Mortgage down 10, Riot Blockchain down 12. So crypto stocks, Robinhood down 2.5. Crypto stocks showing some red, even with Bitcoin green. Hit a high of 94,000 earlier today. Russell, the weakest of the bunch. Let's see what our bank's doing. Banks must be a little red. City is slightly red. JP Morgan's a little bit green. Goldman is just a little bit green, was up earlier today. So we're getting a little bit of consolidation right around the unchanged level. It'd be a low priced 5 wide or a little bit of a juicy straddle. I think I'll pass. At the money, butterflies already trading for over $1. I mentioned VIX is down, but didn't say where it was. It's under 14, down into the 13 handle for Mr. VIX. First time we've seen this since July. July 17th. Looks like maybe we did a little dip on the 19th. Of course, we had CPI this morning. And right from the get-go, it shot up pre-market. And by the time the bell opened, it gave back about half, continued lower, broke through the lows of where before CPI announcement was made. Kind of flushed pre-market lows. Rallied to new highs and then back to mid-range. So quite a little roller coaster today. If you are new here, typically we've got some trades to talk about during Power Hour, but today my WUGAs didn't qualify. Premiums are just super low. So if anybody has questions about any of the courses or content that they're learning, feel free to ask during these live streams. And NASDAQ and S&P going red. Oh, I did do a little futures trading today. There just wasn't much else I wanted to be involved in. I booked, let's see, 605 on the just micro S&Ps and 250 on some NASDAQs. Oh, S&P trying to stay green. What else, my friends? What else? Anything? I think I covered everything I was going to. I mean, Elliot, if we get another 20-point move down, our 5-7 is going to be profitable. For those who are wondering why the calendars have been suffering, Elliot didn't tell us. He jumped back in, started trading them again. Pretty much a guarantee. Abaishia. Hopefully I said that right. Abashaya. How about that? I noticed the AM iron condors haven't been performing well since June. Do you think this is because of volatility? Yeah, that's part of it. I think I'm not sure which AM iron condor you're speaking of exactly. Are you talking about just putting one on if the VIX is up overnight, or maybe clarify a little bit about? Yeah, they certainly have not been performing as well. The 1 DTE, or are you talking zero? Oh, 1 DTE. Okay. Yeah, I mean, part of it is just, yeah, the strikes, volatility's down, the strikes are closer, and the daily range has just been bigger. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Why has that been? There's when implied volatility is lower than realized volatility, that just tends to happen. Obviously, we don't know ahead of time, but S&P trying to stay green. A little bouncy bounce. SPX acting like it did not want to go red. Oh, sorry, Moel. Yeah, I have mine at 15 minutes before the bell is when mine closes. And the 6-7 and 3-4 close tomorrow, so we need a move. We need price to move into near one of the strikes. Yeah, and I'll close the 1-2 tomorrow as well. We're bouncing. NDX back in the green. Yeah. We're gonna take back off to highs of day here. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Hmm. I mean, if we get another decent vol contraction after PPI, we're going to be down in the 12 handle, boys and girls. We'll be back in June and July type volatility. Well, I feel like I traded really well today. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a pat on the back. Price action BIX will be slightly green. Regular BIX will be slightly red. Green on day trades. With this kind of price action, I'm gotta say I'm actually okay with the outcome. We still have Mahomes. Mahomes might take us home. $95 butterfly trading for $1.20-ish. We're right in between strikes. My price action BIX, sometimes I'll do a in this environment, sometimes I'll do a $4 strike in the morning. Like my first tranche might be a $4 one, but more often than not, I'm doing the $3. Cosmo, are you back in shape yet? You ready? You ready for your next Ironman? Or is the COVID still lingering? What do you got, Chessmaster? Dr. Chessmaster, what do you got for us? I'll tell you my concoction after you tell me yours. Galactin 3 blockers. Did I say that right? Galectin? Galectin? Figure out who you are. All right. Let's go. Galectin 3. Okay. Here's what we got. A protein that plays a role in many biological processes, including cell growth, inflammation, and immunity. Do I need to give the medical advice disclosure here? I am not a doctor. Please seek advice from your licensed medical professional. So is this prescription only or is this over the counter? Okay. Thanks for leaving us hanging, Chessmaster. Okay. Come December, we'll be COVID free, I guess. My favorite COVID remedy is THC gummies. You just get a good, solid, heavy dose of a weed gummy. You know, because for me, I start feeling like all achy and all that. I just take a big, strong dose of that, and the next day, I've done it 3 times, and I feel great the next day. There's my COVID advice for you. S&P started to stall out a little bit. 59.95, trying to make its way back up to that 6,000 magnet. I mean, we've bounced up and down around 6,000 since Friday of last week. Push above it, push below it, push above it, push below it. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings coming up. That is 11:20 aftermarket. So 1 week from today. And NVIDIA's been kind of similar to the S&P, just kind of up and down within a kind of 4 or 5 point range here. Let's see, what other, do you have any other earnings? See, we got, what is today? Today's Wednesday. So after the bell, Cisco. And before the market tomorrow, Disney. Those look like the only real ones. Let's see what Disney's doing. Disney. Disney's been on a little run since its last earnings. I would say just sticking with the trend of the indices, I would go bullish. It's got a 7-point expected move. Currently trading at 102, so it'd be at about 109. Sold at 65 cents. There's my little Disney play. Home Depot's up a couple percent, and I need it here by Friday. I need it a little bit higher. A little bounce back from yesterday's sell-off. Could get there. 420 would book a nice profit. 425 would be beautiful. All right, I'm going to take these last remaining contracts off for a couple pennies. Have my strikes for Mahomes and just take the risk off. And we're getting a little rollover now in SPX. NDX back in the red. S&P still a little bit green. $90 butterfly trading for about $1.20. A little too much movement. Butterflies are staying cheap. Less than 30 minutes till the bell. Better put on my financial juice in preparation for MOC. Gold off another 1% today. Thing has really dropped since the election after hitting a new all-time high of 28.01. Oil's been back and forth. Natty gas is up. 10-year yield has been on the rise. Euro and the pound continue to fall. US dollar getting stronger. NASDAQ back in the green. S&P trying to bounce again. I'm part of an investment club. We used to meet like once a quarter. Now we meet maybe once a year. But I got us into Bitcoin back when it was at 3,000. And originally we bought six coins, 6 full coins. And we closed 3 of them at some point. Anyway, we still have 3 though. It's up to 91,000. Oh, and last night I hadn't logged into my Coinbase account for, I don't know, the last time. I had to do a bunch of verification stuff. It had been so long, but I couldn't even remember what I had in there. And I open it up. I'm like, oh, I've got $60,000 sitting here in some, I don't know, about 5 different cryptos that I'd bought at some point. That was a nice surprise. It's like finding a $20 bill in the laundry, except for way better. Look at S&P. S&P trying to get jiggy. Did I ever tell you about my buddy who first, well, he didn't tell me about Bitcoin, but he's the one. I first bought Bitcoin when it was $100 because I was talking to him about it. I was talking to somebody about Bitcoin back then, and they're like, "Oh, you got to talk to Sean. He's the Bitcoin guru. He knows all about it." So I was talking to him, and so I started just buying a little, I mean, tiny bit, nothing big. When it was $100, of course, in hindsight, what $10,000 would be today, you can play that whole game. But anyway, he started buying Bitcoin when it was $10. And he was just a huge believer. Like, he was all in. And he was already very successful, making multiple 7 figures a year. So he put some real money in it. And when he did it, his goal was, and he's never told me the exact amount that he has or anything like that. I never got that personal with him about it, but he basically told me when it gets to a point where it could be generational life-changing, generational changing wealth. His plan was to sell half and move his family to Puerto Rico. And so essentially, and then cash out of half of it. So essentially he paid almost zero tax. And he did it. Like he's lived in Puerto Rico now for, I think, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 years. He cashed out of half and he still has half. Still has not sold one bit of the other half. And so my wife and I went to Puerto Rico a couple years ago and hung out with him. And essentially he bought the top 2 stories of a condo building and turned it into this just amazing penthouse overlooking the beach in Puerto Rico. And he bought it used to be like a historic hotel. It's a house, but it used to be kind of like a historic hotel on an island off the island of Puerto Rico. And so that's his vacation home. So he's got his penthouse condo in oh gosh, what's the area? Puerto Rico. I can't remember. It's the super nice area. And then he's got his little vacation home on his little island off Puerto Rico. Good guess. Good guess, Data Junkie. His name is Sean, but I mean, that's peanuts compared to Dick K. Let's be honest. But I like just based on what other people have told me, I think he cashed out that half that he cashed out. I think it was around $50 million. And then, the other half, gosh, who knows what it's worth now. So that's my favorite Bitcoin story. You got 20 minutes till the bell, 10 minutes till MOC. You don't have to do any Cosmo. You just buy Bitcoin. It's that easy. Yeah, I think that was like yeah, that was a big story that was going around when Bitcoin first came out. That was like one of the first Bitcoin transactions. Somebody bought 2 pizzas with Bitcoin. I think, yeah, 10,000 coins or something would be worth who knows how much now. Crazy, crazy. All right, heading back to 6,000. 6,000 butterfly. Whoa, I better get in. What am I waiting for? I'm sitting here talking about Bitcoin. It's time for Mahomes. Working the 6,000 fly. I'll work one above and one below. See what we do here. All right, I'll put on the 95. All right, the OO's trading for about $1.75. Down between strikes now. Well, if we can hang out up near 6,000, we may have a chance at filling before MOC. About 6 minutes. Closing out my 5.7. Closing out my 5.7 for loser, thanks to Elliot. Sitting at 98, need to get up a couple more points closer to 00. Looks like it's trading for, well, it's down to 97 now. Closer to 95 now. But the 95 is only at about $1.50 or so. I really wanted to fill the 6,000. Yeah, see, it's right close to 95, but the 6,000 butterfly is almost the same price. Two and a half minutes till MOC. Let's see, do I need to put on a 90? All right, working a 90. Around 95 for it to get filled. Looks like it's trading for $1.80-ish. You can always disable it and just close the longs, Moel. The shorts probably have zero bid. Sitting around 95, not quite close to filling yet. MOC incoming here in about 10 seconds. Whoa, little drop. $1.8 billion sell side. Down to 91. That movement is keeping them a little bit cheap, though. Well, do I need to add an 85? I guess I'll cancel my OO. Definitely would not have been a good day to sell 0 DTE premium for power hour. Whoa. Now we're getting some action. Unfortunately, we didn't get filled yet. I'm working in 85, 90, and 95. NASDAQ is red, S&P still green. We hover around 90 for a minute. Should be close. Man, would have been nice to get that fill before MOC. Right between the 85s and 90s. VIX creeping back up above 14. 90 is close if we can just get back up a little bit. Down in the 86s. Down to 85. But that movement's keeping them cheap. I'm going to cancel my 95. So I'm working an 85 and 90. We flush much more. I don't know that I'll get filled. I'm in right down to unchanged. Nibbling on my 85s. Filled 3 of 20. It's closer to 80 though. All right, filled on the 85s. My bot filled on the 80s. Let's go flush below 80 and then bounce. Got 3.5 minutes. Did not like that 1.8 billion sell side number. Definitely dropped after that one. Come on, a little lower. Sitting at 82. Bouncing back up to 85. Well, my bot fill on the 80s is looking good. But my other one needs to move away from 85. $90 would be a win for everybody. I shouldn't say everybody, both of mine. Back above 85. Less than 2 minutes. Above 86. Come on. Keep her bouncing. Less than a minute. Above 88 would be a win. Keep your head up. Twenty seconds. Push. Push, push, push. 88. Get up there. Ding, ding. Oh, for the 85 is not a good close. Marked down to 85.46. So my wife's won on the 80 fly. Anybody else get on the 80s? Oh, Lando on the 80s too. Nice. I didn't even have an 80 working. Maybe I should have. Looks like I should have. Well, good job for you. All right, all. That is it for today. Tomorrow is a new day. Live stream chat will be streaming live at the market open. And then we'll be back for Power Hour. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you soon.